folks, welcome again to another tutorial. This is actually going to be a very interesting one. This is the Ender Pro 3D printer that I actually bought for my father for a Christmas present. And I'm really excited about this printer because I've heard a lot of good things. And today what we're going to do is actually unbox this thing and assemble it and then see how good of a 3D printer this is. Let's see what is inside. Alright, so this comes with this assembly instruction with step-by-step instructions. We are basically going to go through each step here. This is a list of the component that comes with this box. All the extrusion assembly, the screws and accessory, the pliers, the Allen wrenches, and everything is up there. So we're just gonna follow this thing right here. So that's handy. Some other stuff about the warranty and all that. Since this is going to be used by my father, I'm not going to worry about it. So let's move on to what is inside. It comes in a very good packaging. As you can see, there's a thin layer of this foam right here. We'll start from here, maybe. So this is a power supply. I think it's rated at 14.6 amps, and I have heard a lot of good things about it. So that's pretty neat. It's very light in weight. It's not too heavy. We also have, this is the Extruder Assembly right here, and I believe this is for the Z-axis, yes. We also have, that's the screen right here. It's pretty decent size actually. Nice PCB board at the back, looks neat and tidy. We also, so this is actually the main bed, and I'm gonna pull this thing first. Make sure this whole thing here. You have to be extremely careful. How about pulling this first? So these are the extruder assemblies that will go on the sides. Gently pull this whole thing. So that's the whole bed right here. I'm gonna put it over here. We also have these bevel leveling gears right here. Underneath this thing, we have this gripper thing right here to pull the object. This is gonna be the gear and the stuff to hold the spool. Some accessories, screws, tools to assemble this thing. That's another extrusion channels right here. Everything is nicely packed. Oops. This is the rod for the Z-axis right here. Again, pretty cool. This is another stepper motor right here. And what else we have? Here's some spool of wire right here, with also the extruder in there, and the power supply cord. And this is also part of the for holding the spool. And that's pretty much inside. So that's all we're gonna do is actually gonna follow this guide. And the first step would be to put these extruder channels on the sides using the screws, okay? And we're gonna use M5X45. Alright folks, the first step here is to actually install these extruder channels right here on each side of the bed using this M5X45 screws. So we need 4 of them, and I have already put it over right here, and I am going to work on this now. So this is supposed to go here. I'm actually gonna tilt it to one side right here, and then hold this thing right like this, and then insert the screw from here. And then you have to make sure you don't fully tight it. Just keep it tight enough that it doesn't move, but don't go all the way tighten it at this point. Okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side also. I'm gonna tilt this thing to, and then put this thing right here. Again, you just make sure you don't fully tight it. So that was quick. दो मिनट से ऊपर की नहीं बनाना, ये सब तो काट भी सकते हो, बस थोड़ा सा अगर दिखा दिया तो। चला तुम्हारा एंगल सही। Alright, so this part is done and that was pretty easy. Okay. So we are now on to step number 2, where we are actually going to put our power supply and our screen. Okay, so if you look at your power supply, one thing that's very important right here, make sure, you know, depending upon your location, you set your voltage. Right now it's set to 230 volt, but if you push on it, you can change it to 110, say if you are in US, but because this is being used in subcontinent, I'm gonna leave it to 230 volt. So let's put this thing right here. This needs to go like this, and we need a couple of screws that will actually go and fit in there like this. One thing that you need to be really careful is all this is metal and there's some plastic in there, so make sure you don't over tight things. Okay, so it looks like my power supply looks pretty cool here, and I'm just making sure that it's tight and secured. Alright, so this looks pretty firm, pretty okay. Remember, I haven't fully tied these channels right here, but my power supply looks cool. Okay, so I'm gonna put the display here now. This is actually gonna go like this. And I have these screws, which will go like this. Now the third step is to put this thing right here, go into the extruder channel like this, and slide it all the way to the very bottom. And then all you need to do is just again, I'm moving on to the fourth step. We have this stepper motor right here. We have this rod right here, number 17, and we need 2 of the max 18-piece screws, and they go right behind this extruder channel right here. So I have already inserted these screws right here. The second one needs to be over here, and this is gonna go like this. If you notice, there's two holes right here. You have to make sure that these screws slide through those two holes, okay? And you're gonna use the Allen wrench to tighten them up. Okay, alright, looks like this is all set. I'm just making sure it's properly tight, and also it's leveled. Okay, yeah. My bed right now, it's not really stable, but we're gonna work on that part later in the video. I also need to slide this thing here. Okay, and then I'll just put this back, this tube right here, all the way, slide it to the bottom right here. Okay, so moving on to step number 5 and 6, we're actually going to work on the whole the assembly, which is right here. As you can see, we have the Z-axis extruder, we have this bracket right here, and we're gonna put all these three things together. So I want you to focus on this thing, okay? Notice this is the front side right here, and this is the back side right here with these extended grooves right here. You're gonna take this back side right here, hold your Z-axis extruder like this, and then basically just slide it through right here. Make sure this thing goes inside like this. Okay, and then we're gonna use these screws right here. So what I'm gonna do here is actually gonna pull this thing and let these screws first go into these holes. Here, okay, now that I have this part, this was really tough, but you can manage. It wasn't too bad. It just took me a little bit of time putting those screws in there. Now that I have the Z-axis assembly is in there, now I'm gonna put this thing and then just simply slide it through this thing right here, all the way to here. And then, okay, now putting this bracket right here, you see this big hole right here on the back end of this channel. So you put this thing right here. So this part right here goes inside. There you go. Okay, and then, I'm gonna use these two screws right here, and then put this thing right here. One goes over here, one goes here, and then let's go ahead and not to forget, you need to put this tube feeder in there. So that's pretty simple. Okay, next step. Have this bracket right here, and we're gonna put this bracket right here in this extruder channel. So this goes right here, and then all I need to do is put it together and tighten it. Now we're gonna work on step number 8, where we have this belt, and it's actually I'm gonna slide it through these cog wheels right here all the way to this, and then underneath that going all the way to this. So this should be pretty simple. And then all you need to do once you get here, you see those brackets right here, you just need to put that belt and that, and then I'm actually gonna pull it from here so it tightens up real quick. And similarly, you're gonna do the same thing here. Put your belt, get your belt from here. There you go. Slide it over the wheel right there, all the way to here, and then just slide it through this bracket right here, and that's all. So that was pretty simple and easy to do. So this is the one end of the belt, and that's the other end of the belt, and hopefully this should work out pretty smooth here. You have this thing moving now. Cool. Okay, so it's not too tight, it's not too loose, it's actually perfect. I could not do it better. So that's awesome. So moving on to step number 9 now, where I have to put these bolts right here. So let's get started on that. The next step would be to take this whole assembly and hold it like this. So this is the back side of the printer, and I'm standing in front of the front side of the printer, and you slide it, you know, carefully. Make sure this shaft goes through this hole that's right here, and all you need to do after you have put it on top of this thing right here, you need to keep on. As you see, it's actually going down, okay, as I'm rotating this thing at the bottom. Okay, we are getting really close now. Step number 10, we're gonna have to put this the extruder assembly, the top one, on top of this this frame right here. We're gonna use 4 of these MM5X25, and then we're gonna put those clips on the sides just to secure, protect the metal from making any damage to human beings. Okay, you make sure this grooved side needs to be on top, and this finished side needs to be at the bottom. Okay, so this goes like here, and these are the screws. I'm gonna put them in there. Okay, this goes here. Two of these goes here. So if you actually notice, I didn't tight initially when we get started the bolts at the very beginning, and therefore I was able to actually align this top extruder assembly channel through these ones on the sides. And once I have everything in place, I can then tighten all the screws. So this was really handy. Okay, all right. Okay, and I'm gonna put this clip right here. And we'll gently push it. There you go. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side as well. There you go. Perfect. All right. step number 11, which is the second last step. So I'm really getting excited about this now. So we need to put this bracket on so we can hang the spool here, and you want to be so this is the front side. You want to be as close as possible on the left hand side looking at the front, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna need this this bracket right here. I'm gonna let this screw slide in through the hole. Oh, this thing is really small, so this goes in here like that. You're gonna put this T-nut right here. Just slide it a little, not all the way, that's enough. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Right, so let's this thing slide it through this hole, roll all the way. This cap right here. Ooh, okay. Okay, all right, that part is done. Structural part, all we need to assemble. Now it's just a matter of putting all the electronics together, making proper connection. I'm gonna feed this tube into this thing right here, into the feeder. Make sure you put this thing right in, and it should not come out easily like this, like it is. So that's pretty secure right here. Now we're gonna work on the electronics part of it. It's Z, which is right here. The good thing about it is all the cables are labeled. As you can see, this is Z right here, okay, and that needs to go in here. So I'm gonna put this thing right here. Make sure you do it gently, okay? Okay, all right. I then have X, and then X needs to go in here, right here. Because remember, you got these more pins here, and this is with the less number of pins. So the one with the more number of pins needs to go here. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna put this thing right here. And then this needs to go here. Okay, E is gonna go here, which is this thing right here. Okay, all right. I also have the power supply here, so that is gonna go like this. Make sure you have red and red and black connected. Okay. This one is already plugged in. Over here, the cable going into the screen, and you look at the ones which is the closest to the bed. There you go, all set. All right, and the last thing we're gonna do is actually put the power cable in there and then plug it. Again, if you haven't done already, make sure your voltage settings are set to wherever you are. In most of the subcontinent Europe, we have 230 volts, so make sure you put this, set it to 230. Okay, if you are in US, then make sure you set it to 110. Okay, let's turn the power on. And the screen is on. Yay! Congratulations! Cool, awesome. So now we're gonna run the, actually, we're gonna do the automation on this thing. So, right now this is 23 degrees centigrade and the bed temperature is 23 degrees centigrade. That's the room temperature, correct? So I'm gonna go to, say, prepare. And then I'm gonna choose auto home and then press this thing, and Okay, one thing folks you need to remember is this Ender 3 Pro does not have the auto leveling option, so you have to do it manually, and it's very easy to do it. You see those 4 cogwheels at the bottom right below the bed. When you do the home automation, you just need to make sure that you have this extruder, and just use some, you know, half a millimeter thick paper or piece of card to make sure, you know, your extruder is actually touching. So I'm just gonna make sure that this card go past this extruder, and just when you feel like it's touching the card, that's when you stop. So notice here, this is where I can have my card slide and I feel the resistance. So just when you feel resistance, that's where you stop. And you do it on all 4 ends of the bed, okay? I just finished the last one. I had already done the previously. So now it's about time that we should print something. Before you send the print request, you need to make sure you have this spool of wire. Again, this is PLA 1.75 mm. Let this wire go through this hole right here, push the string, and then let your wire go through this thing right here, and then all the way. Just with this SD card right here, and I'm gonna put that in. So the printer comes with an 8 GB SD card, which I'm gonna put it in there, and it already has some built-in design, some G-code files in there. Maybe it goes like this. Alright, it's in there. From TF. Okay, there you go. Here are some files. And I'm actually looking for let's say I want to do dog. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on this thing, and it's gonna start heating the bed, and it's gonna do its job. Right now it's 24 degrees centigrade. The bed is 25. You see this? It jumped 25. In about a few minutes, it's gonna start heating up and start printing. So we're getting very close to finish. The print job is almost 99% done. And then look at the top here. You probably see this thread right here, and that's because I had to leave, so I paused the printing and then I resumed it later. So that was the wire that didn't melt. You can also see the line right next to the nose. That's because I had to pause the printing, and that's pretty common among many other printers. So I believe the job is done, and all we need to do now is to pull this dog. Alrighty, so let's do that. The good thing about this bed is it's a magnetic bed, so all I need to do is pull this thing here, and then there you go. Okay. Alright. Okay, alright, let's look at the resolution. This is our very first 2D print from Ender Pro 3, and it's awesome. Everything looks awesome. See, the surface is pretty smooth. That's the base right here. You can actually pull this thing right here. You don't need that. There you go. Okay. So I am actually extremely satisfied with this purchase, and this is a beautifully designed 3D print. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Obviously you can tweak around with this, pull these things out, but it looks beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed the videos. Till we meet next time, enjoy, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.